I fell in the washing machine when I was 5 years old. So my mother was asleep. I snuck outside and I was in the laundromat playing on top of a washing machine. And I was jumping up and down, getting ready to jump off of it, but I was jumping hard. The lid popped open and I fell in and I broke everything from my waist down.
1, 2,
I am.
get down.
I am.
Even if you are not ready for the day.
We are. I am Brandon Marshall.
I am Cam Newton, and this is I Am Iconic Live.
We end up suing Quick Wash. And the reason we won the lawsuit is one of the reasons why now when you open a lid to a washing machine, it stops. It was supposed to stop and it didn't. So I broke everything from my waist down. So I had a bone pop out here, a bone pop out here. I had pins in my leg. This is at 5 years old. In a washing machine spinning like this. I pulled myself out and then passed out. I was in a full body cast from here all the way down with a stick between my legs. So I had to lay flat like this, and I had to learn how to walk again. I was walking in that body cast. They thought it was a miracle. They thought I was a miracle child. I rose up one day in that body cast and started walking with a broken up body. I got the Spirit of God at an early age. So 2 years later after that, I put my right eye out. So I've had 9 eye surgeries. When they used to put that oxygen mask and make a nigga go to sleep, somewhere in the Bible they says to be absent from the body is to be present from the Lord. Whenever you go to surgery, you're absent from your body. In my mind, I vividly remember having dreams going somewhere to heaven as a kid.
So you only have sight in one eye?
Yeah, this is a prosthetic limb. It's a glass eye.
Oh, wow.
So that's from 5 to 7.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to re-walk again with no problem. So I ain't got no hip or nothing. So if I was to stand, I ain't got no hip or nothing. So that's at 5. At 7, so from 7 to 12, I had 9 eye surgeries. So I never really got to go to school. So I had a private tutor. It's things that I remember educational-wise that I don't know how I got this knowledge. They don't teach us about Jim Brown in school. Nigga, I know everything about Jim Brown, the abolitionists. I got knowledge and information but that white tutor, I had a white tutor in the 80s coming to my home to teach me, so I was groomed to be an intellectual. So I didn't really get to go to school to the 6th grade. By the time I got to the 6th grade, I caught a capital murder case in the 8th grade. So I'm an institutionalized baby from medicine, hospitals, to now incarceration. I'm a book-driven baby. I've been reading books all my life. I ain't been outside playing. I ain't played no sports. I've been reading books. I've got a brain full of knowledge. I've been watching television, studying movies and actors. That's how I can act. So what you see now is a product of a system. Nigga, I'm an educational baby. That's why my knowledge and my articulation is what it is, because when I went into the system, I began to read more books. So when niggas were playing dominoes and watching rap videos, I was reading Danielle Steele Love novels. So I'm very charismatic. I'm very charming.
That's what you think?
Yeah. Well, that's how I've been able to get by getting in trouble.
But let me
getting in front of a judge and being able to say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Getting in front of a probation officer, knowing how to make eye contact, sit up straight, look them straight in the eye. All of that was charming things I learned as a kid to get out of trouble.
Out of all those books that you had access to, you ain't never had access to a Bible?
Yeah. I refused to read the Bible because I couldn't, as a kid, I couldn't connect to the language that the Bible wrote. Thou art. My understanding couldn't comprehend that.
Okay, were you coherent to understanding that there were different versions of the Bible?
Yeah, I understand about the council when they introduced Cesar Bagario as the white man with the blonde hair, and they took out pieces of the Bible. So I know the Bible have been dissected to brainwash, to control.
Yes, sir.
So what I did was...
But not more or less that level. I'm talking about the international version.
I understand it, but as a kid, you don't know that.
Yes, sir.
As a kid, you don't know to pick up this book and say, okay, they got a King James version. Okay, you don't know this. All you know is, here, read the Bible. They said, read the Bible. And you can't really understand what the preacher's saying.
Correct.
But I have a mother who are quoting scriptures. And I'm hearing her say these scriptures, but they're not making no sense. All things work for the good of those who love God, is called according to his will and his purpose. Mama, I'm locked up here for murder, and I'm gonna be here for 4 years. How is this gonna work for my good? Well, but she's trying to explain this to me. And I'm saying, man, that stuff shit don't make no sense. I'm rejecting everything she's saying. For one, most kids reject what their parents teach them, because you think the world know more than your parents. So this ain't making sense, mama. This God that so loved the world that'll give us his son, then why this kid over here get molested if God love us? Where my daddy at, mama, if God's so good? You keep hollering about God good. How he good? How? And so it ain't making sense.
So you don't believe in this scripture, raise up a child in the way he should go?
As a kid, don't know scripture makes sense. I know it now.
Yes, of course.
So, but as a kid, it says train up a child.
Yes.
How many parents are really training? We're raising our kids. We ain't training them. That's why when they get in situations, they don't go to their training to make good choices. When police get in situations, they go to their training. They training is to shoot. Shoot. Where? Shoot to kill. Why you didn't shoot him in the leg? Because he was in a situation where he had to fall back on his training, and there's a silhouette where they're trained to shoot center mass. So that's why they don't shoot you in the leg. So what training are we giving our children where they get in a situation where they choose the training? We're not training. We raise our kids. How do we raise them? Food, shelter, clothing. We ain't training these kids. We ain't training these motherfuckers. So we ain't trained. We got to go to work. Mama got to go to work. Daddy cross town playing stepdaddy, making more babies. Who training us? Nobody. We're being indoctrinated at school, and we're being programmed by the culture. Who's training us? So we can mistrain up a child. That's why the kids ain't going no way, because ain't nobody training them. They're raising them. They're providing good homes, good clothes, good foods. But other than that, there's no training. That's why we're not in Boy Scouts. That's why we're not in ROTC. That's why we're not in no type of physical training to teach us how to do push-ups outside of sports. So as a kid, your parents are trying to introduce you to God, but you looking at the circumstances in a situation that y'all growing up in. So God ain't making sense to children no more. It ain't making sense. Was I blessed because when I go to school, the kids at school ain't blessing their food, but you got me blessing my food. It ain't making sense. Ain't nobody at school blessing their food, so I'm supposed to go to school and pray over my food. No, I ain't doing that, Mom. Because my peers supersede what you trying to teach me if you don't have a bunch of money to buy my attention. So my mother was financially stable to buy our attention.
What your mom do?
My mom worked for General Motors, retired from General Motors. The backbone of America, the blue-collar worker.
Yes,
in the 80s. In the 80s. So we were very financially stable. I had my own bedroom, homie, in the 3rd grade. I had my own phone line. I had the bunk bed, bed with the desk. I had the basketball goal. I had the remote control car. We had the Nintendo with the power pad, the duck hunting game. I had the Jabos. I had all the name brand stuff that a kid could want. But for one, Mom wasn't at home. She had to work. So she provided a great home life. But when we got out of school, she was going to work. Daddy retired from the Navy. He doing his own thing.
Were you raised in a household with your mom and your dad?
No, just Mom.
Were they ever together?
Yeah, they were together the first part of my life. But that's a vague memory.
Yeah, but when you say first part,
I have no memory.
Okay, now do you think that had any type of trauma in your growth as a man?
The absence of a father in any child's life leaves a child hurt, but ultimately develops a child as an angry kid. And he can't nobody explain why the little motherfucker just angry. That's the absence of a father.
But
so my brother.
You're speaking from the son's perspective or the female's perspective?
I'm speaking from the son's perspective. So both my brother and I grew up with just a good mother, a good loving mother. When I was 8 or 9 years old, homie, my brother looked at me and said, when I grow up, I'm gonna kill somebody. Man, I looked at that nigga and ran downstairs. Mama, Kevin say when he grew up, man, boy, come here. What you mean? When I grow up, I'm gonna kill. And so she spanked him when she should have been exploring that anger. Long before a kid gets angry, they feel hurt. Nigga, where my daddy at? Mama, where daddy at? What Tupac say? He heard mama crying. Mama, where my daddy at? Heard you crying late night through the bedroom door. And do you love me, mama? Why they keep on calling me nigga? Get my weight up with my hate and pay them back when I'm bigger. So that's the 12-year-old big body kid, nigga, that they done put in football that grandmama them scared of. When he get mad, he huffing and puffing. He kick the door. He punch a hole in the wall. He push his little sister down. Get that weight up with my hate. So just think about my brother saying this, nigga, I'm 8 years old, he 10. Nigga, he killed somebody at 17.
So I'm trying to piece it all together.
So the anger, right? So we hurt in the beginning, but before you hurt, you feeling unloved.
No, hold on. Check that. Truth to that. But in your household, you raised by your mother, parents was never together. You guys, 3 boys.
Two boys.
So just you and your brother.
Just me and my brother.
2 boys. So you only got 1 sibling.
Yeah.
So,
but I had a sister come later in life when I
Okay.
was 13.
Okay.
So we got uncle, we got granddaddy, we got grandmama, we got aunts, we got cousins. So we got a big family.
Yes,
And
sir.
we got males there. But they ain't the right kind of male. Granddaddy got a barber shop. Granddaddy went to the military. Granddaddy retired from Paul Lumber's yard. Granddaddy worked at the bus barn. He the supervisor at the bus barn, but he pimping. He got all the hoes boosting and stealing. Granddaddy catch a major federal drug case and make the front page paper, right? So I remember my mother telling us when I was like in the 5th grade, don't go to school and tell nobody that's your granddaddy. His name Freddie White. My uncle is a pimp. My granddaddy got the barbershop. I'm growing up with granddad and uncle and them at the barbershop, seeing the hustlers and the players and the pimps. It's the black exploitation era. It's
Yes,
the
sir.
80s. So I got men in my life, but my mother is contrasting and countering what we're seeing.
Right.
She trying to raise us to be opposite of her brother and her daddy. So she's trying to instill good morals. But nigga, who fucks up the kids more than the bullshit uncles in the black family? Because Uncle Wayne is the pimp with the Rolls Royce. Uncle Wayne is the pimp walking through with the briefcase full of money, the trash bags of money. So as a kid, you see the dynamics of how the family treat Uncle Wayne. Everybody kiss his ass, and he a woman beater. So everybody kiss his ass, so it's no different than a D-boy uncle who in the household with the mama who got the favorite brother. He coming through with the pants sagging and the gun. The nephews and them is picking up these traits. As he stopped through and get us with money, get out with money, rub them on the head, let them ride in the car with the hoes and the bitches. So I was a little king, like the little kid Finesse 2 Time guy. I was that little nigga with my uncle now, being exposed to this shit. So that's the dynamic of the loving single black mother who's God-fearing, who's trying to teach her kids good morals and values, but she don't have the time because she got to work and provide a good living for them.
And there's a missing piece in the father being...
The absence of the father.
Yeah.
So the absence of the father, who's supposed to step in? An uncle, a cousin, somebody within
Some
the
male
family.
figure.
Within the family before she have to go out and get a coach.
Correct.
But nigga, there's no positive male figures. They teaching us the bullshit.
Toxic.
And they telling us don't listen to your mama. Boy, you gonna be a trick listening to your mama. So they really got you.
So as a child, you're battling different things. Don't listen to your uncles, and your uncle saying, don't listen to
Man, your mama don't know what she talking about.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
You're gonna be a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Hey.